Well, morning. This is Joe with Lock It Up. Welcome to a beautiful Tuesday out here in Central Texas. And today it's just real beautiful. We got a couple clouds in the sky, kind of all broken up. So it really puts off some good lighting today. So hopefully when I turn around, you might be able to see it in the background later. But hope you're all having a good week. A good start. I know yesterday I was pretty busy doing things. I still got so much more to do. Just developing emails. You know, when you see like a really nice email, apparently there's a lot more to it than I thought. So this is my first time going into emails, so I got a lot to learn. I know what to do, but just putting all that effort in to create the emails the way I want them to be is a challenging part. I know there's plenty of softwares out there and companies that can help, but you still have to put in some effort to get it done. You know, you just don't want sloppy work being thrown out there, because that's your brand, that's what you do. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. So it's still good. I'm still learning. You know, I never dip too far into email stuff ever, and not that my company will do it so much. I probably won't. I'll send out very few emails just because I don't like to flood your inbox with emails. And I mean, let me know if you agree with that. Some people like to send out those emails like they're pancakes, but you know, sometimes I don't want to read your email. So if I send out an email, it's gonna be with a purpose and it's gonna have a reasoning for it. So that's what I do. But for, you know, any of my clients that want to improve their email strategy, then I want to at least be able to show them what it takes, whether it's that they want to do it or we're gonna bring somebody else on to do it. You know, it'll just be something we can work towards and create on our own, or find a resource that fits their needs. You know, if it's something simple they can do, great. If not, we'll have to do something. How my week's going, but yeah, today's kind of just got me thinking on this walk about, you know, purpose. Depending on, you know, whether you just as a person, as a business, whatever it is that you got going on, you need to have a purpose and it needs to be outlined and structured. And so, you know, with, you know, America as its whole, you know, when it comes to like the government side and all of the involvement that America has, I think we're just stretched a little too thin. It's something relatable that I can see, like when Napoleon came back for like the you know, towards the end of Napoleon, when he lost against the Russians. You know, one of the reasonings behind that was, you know, Napoleon thought he had the army that he did, you know, years ago prior to that event, and also he didn't have the supply chain. The biggest reason why he got beat so easily was because he didn't have the right supplies, didn't have the right soldiers, didn't have the right equipment. Lost a lot of the equipment. I think it was in the mud and all that. I think go back to that book, great book. There's one out there that kind of depicts all of that Napoleon did during his time. And so, you know, as America in a similar position, you know, instead of it just being one person, it's still, you know, one nation. You know, are we going off of old facts? You know, like we don't have the same people that we had, you know, during World War II. You know, and we can go down that whole train, but let's keep it on track. You know, we don't have the same supplies. You know, with now like the whole global structure, you know, America's not able to keep all the manufacturing in American soil like we were able to, for the most part, during World War II. You know, as the men got drafted to go out, and then the women got to step up and do the manufacturing jobs that weren't usually available to them. And so, you know, there was a whole campaign for that kind of pulled everyone together. And you know, back then America was just a making machine. And then what, somewhere in the 80s, I think we started, you know, I get the strategy. They tried to find cheaper labor somewhere else. You know, they had the process down pat. They could do, you know, they knew how to build. They just wanted somewhere else that was cheaper to build it, so that way then they save money, quote unquote. They just get more profits. And then we did that even to this day. And so going back on the thought of, like, you know, America and the purpose, You know, are we stretched too thin? We got so much money going into the government, but you know, when you have so much money, everyone looks at the people with money to figure out ways to then take money away from that. And there's a ton of it. And so right now, what we're kind of running across is, I think America is stretched too thin. I get we have usually some really great intentions, but you know, it's not been panning out as a, what would you call that? It's not, although we have great intentions, we're not able to complete those intentions. Some people say, you know, there's more money in creating problems than there is solutions. That's scary. But, you know, America, you know, a lot of countries look at us as a bad guy, and vice versa, we look at them as the bad guy. But, you know, if we set out on the purpose of solving problems, well, then we would have less problems. You know, kind of like a snowball effect. You complete one problem, okay, that's done. Take the resources and the financing from there and apply it to the next problem. You know, all those, hopefully those skills of problem solving are transferable, and you then go into the next problem, and then you solve that problem, and you move on to the next problem, and you snowball. Maybe you leave a small structure there to maintain it, and if there's ever a need, like, oh hey, you know, we're falling behind again, or things are getting out of hand again, then you take that specialized group you got, go back, apply some resources, fix it, get it back to maintenance, do some training, do whatever you gotta do, and then keep moving on and solving problems. And I feel like that's what we don't have. There's no, I guess people are too scared to complete a problem, because then that means that they're out of a job. But not true, you just then move on to the next job. But yeah, you know, it's like, you know, America helps out a lot of other countries, you know, sending financial aid, sending resources, sending, you know, teams out there, companies out there to help fix problems. Some problems are easy, some problems are a little bit harder, but you know, it's like, let's not sit on this all day. You know, you could get something done and then move on to the next project, as long as it's complete and running and functional. You know, so, you know, I wish America would focus on fixing problems that we have. You know, like, how do we have this much money going into the system, but yet not a lot's being fixed and completed? You know, you got, in America still, you still have problems with drinking water, you still have problems with the roads, you still have a real issue that I've heard is the school system lately. And it's like, how much more complicated can we make it for kids to learn to read, write, do math, know some science? That's more suitable, more understandable, but that only happens if you have a purpose. Right now, I feel like just the purpose isn't as well defined as some may think it is. But you know, going back to America as a whole, is like, you know, what's our purpose? You know, what are we working for? What's our goal? What's our end goal for right now? We can always redefine the goal once we achieved it and accomplishment and all that good stuff. But we have to find what the goal is, what our purpose is, so we can all work towards it. I feel like they had that during World War II, because they had the war and all that, and I don't feel like we need to have a war just to have a purpose, but just to have a general purpose for everybody to work towards, and when we reach that, we shall be then rewarded for accomplishing, you know. And I feel like just right now, you know, too many people are like abused, you know, by like our own government and the system that we've created. is like, you know, it's like an abusive relationship. You know, you work so hard, and then you don't get any recognition for it. I mean, I feel like in the work culture, that's all too common. And I feel like there's some feedback, some negativity toward the worker to the employers now in that fashion. You know, it's like, yeah, sure, I could work every hour of the day for you. Cool. You know, when's it end? When are we able to take a break and enjoy what we did? And then sure, let's get back to work after that. But, you know, it's just like, you can't keep running us down for no reason. You know, give me a reason, and if I support it, I'll give you my all. But if I don't, then I won't. And so it's like, we're all working hard, we're all, you know, waking up, getting to work, putting in the hours, you know, but like, what's the end goal? What are we trying to accomplish, and are we ever going to accomplish it? You know, you have to treat the people working for you with the abilities of recognition and award for them. If you just run them down, guess what? They're just gonna leave. They get burnt out. You think, oh yeah, we do this for 6 months. Like, would you want to keep that employee on for 6 months, depending on the goal, or a long-term investment where you have someone that knows what they're doing and you get the job done? Right now, I feel it's like we don't kind of lead towards that. We kind of lead towards the use and abuse. You know, work them till they quit, get hurt, or, you know, just shut down. And so I feel, you know, even from the employment side to, you know, the American citizen side, you know, have, you know, the American people just been beaten down by this obsession over getting things done for what reason? Yeah, I think it's something like that. And it's, we'd have to look a bit further down into all of the cause and effect of it all, but, you know, just you shouldn't, I feel, maybe it's not always how it was. I wasn't there, you know, for all of history, but if you got a good thing, people know you got a good thing. Unless it's like a bait and switch and something like that. You know, a lot of people still want to come to America to live the American dream. But, you know, who supports the American dream? Who creates the ability to continuously go out there and do it? And for the most part, it's companies and a little bit of government. You know, you can go down like the whole culture within the area kind of thing, but, you know, from every state in America, you know, what's the purpose? What's the culture? What's trying to be done? And does everyone know it? You know, and I think that does come down to then like the representatives of the state and everyone in between for all that platform. And I feel like right now it's just, we're just kind of doing whatever and everyone's okay with it, but things aren't working out the way they should be. So we're all kind of side-eyeing a little bit. We're all like, does this sound right to you guys? So, you know, it doesn't sound right to me. And that's a communication thing. That's, you know, people being lazy, not willing to step up and, you know, get things done that need to be done. And so it just kind of puts out this weird environment. But yeah, let's think about that more purpose. Be purpose driven, be able to come up with a vision, integrate the plan to fulfill that purpose, fulfill that mission, and understand, you know, even once we do reach it, then what? What's the next step? I think that might be something that everyone kind of has to work towards, for your own person, for your own company, for your own city, for your own state, for your own country. Find the purpose of what to work for and how to make it better, solve problems, and then keep things going. So that's it for me today. Y'all take care. Say goodbye to Oakley. See you next time.